Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a video I should have done last month, but I kind of ran out of time. I'm doing the mid-year book freak out tag. This has been circulating around booktube lately and it seemed like something fun. And someone said it's kind of like a rite of passage if you do booktube to do this video. So here I am in my dino shirt doing it for you all. So let's get into it. So the first question is, what is the best book you have read so far this year? And this was a pretty hard choice, mainly because I don't have, it's really hard for me to pick my favorite book right away because I have so many more I could read throughout the year. But right now, the one that is holding the top spot is Lover or Loser by Tessa Bailey. I think this is my favorite book because it gives a really fresh perspective on romances. Right now, contemporary romance, or at least a lot of what I'm seeing that people are liking, is kind of very along the same lines, kind of hate to love things, kind of cliche sort of things. And this, I think, gave a really fresh perspective. Dominic and Rosie's relationship is, they're already married. We're not looking for happily ever after here. I mean, you are, but in a very different way. It's kind of, instead of a hate to love, it's like a love to hate thing. And then seeing if they can get back to who they were when they were high school sweethearts. So I really liked it. I felt a really deep connection with this book, just because of the subject matter and him being in the military and her being a military wife and me being a military wife. I thought it was a really good book, and this is definitely in my top 10 for the year, if not in the top spot. I also tried to pick different books for each of these, so some of them do overlap, but I wanted to give you guys lots of recommendations and perspectives here. So the next one is, what are your book goals for this year and how are you doing on them? My goal this year was to get more ebooks, annotate my rereads if I reread anything, and read 60 books. So far, let me look at my stats here. I've read 52 books completely. 42 books. I've read 42 books, which I think is pretty good for me. I think I will definitely hit 60 no problem by the end of the year. I did annotate the one reread I did of The Wicked Deep, and I have got more ebooks, so my book goals are doing good. Was an unread new release that you have? I have Beach Read that I got from Book of the Month. People have been raving about this and I just have not gotten to it. I'm hoping to get to it by the end of this month. I am reading a pretty big book right now, so hopefully this will be the next one I read. The next question is, what is your most anticipated upcoming new release? I really don't know that I have one. I think looking at my shelves, I'm looking for the next step in a series. I really don't know that I have one right now. There are a lot of new releases coming out soon. Yeah, I don't think I really have one right now off the top of my head that I'm really, really excited to get my hands on. So I'm not sure. I don't know is the answer to that one. Next question is, what has been your biggest disappointment this year? I think any of the ebooks I have read for the most part have been really big disappointments. They've been very kind of baseline, and I'm trying to support the independent kind of thing, and I am just not vibing with any of it. So I think that would be where I'm at with those. But also The Perfect Date, I really, really thought I would like this book more than I did. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't the back made me really think that I would enjoy it because it is a romance of a single mom and a baseball player coming together. I love baseball romance. I love sports romances. And this one just did not do it for me. It gave me no suspense, or I felt like the stakes weren't as high as they should have been. So I was kind of disappointed in this book. Next is, what is your biggest surprise this year? That is going to be Sky in the Deep. This book was recommended to me, and I really didn't know that I would vibe with it because I'm very picky about fantasy. And this is a Viking fantasy, and I really ended up liking it. It definitely is in the running to be one of my favorite books of the year. It was super good, super fast paced, and I think I read it in 3 or 4 days. So yeah, this is a really, really good book, and I'm excited to read the companion novel very soon. Next one is favorite new author. That has to be Tessa Bailey. I loved Fix Her Up. I loved Love Her or Lose Her. And this book is the one that introduced me to her, and I really, really like her writing style. It's very fun, it's very light, but she does touch on big issues. I definitely think between this series that she's doing another one with one of the other side characters in this series. It's going to be a very good trilogy, and I just love her work, so I'm very excited to read more of her backlist and also check out what she has upcoming. A favorite fictional crush, I only have one, especially from books I've read this year, and that is Thomas Cresswell from the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. In Hunting Prince Dracula, I think I fell more in love with Thomas Cresswell. He is so snarky, and you learn a lot about him in this book, and I think it made him much more relatable, even with the historical context. He's just a really good character, and that kind of like bantery, snarky, really smart, like quick-witted kind of person. So I would say he's my favorite book crush this year. Next is, who is your new favorite character in a book? I really don't know that I have a favorite character. If I had to pick one, it might be Simon in Well Met. I would say that's probably the closest to having a new favorite character. There's not really many characters that I kind of really attached to in any books. If any, of another one maybe would be Stevie in The Vanishing Stair. I really like her character. But there's no one that I've really fallen in love with recently that has just like grabbed me and been like, that's a character I love. The way I think about it is, if this was turned into a TV show or a movie, who would I want to play? And whoever I want to play is usually my favorite character. But I really like Simon in this. I think he was a really well-developed character. But other than that, there's no one that's really got me, ready to audition for them. Next question is, a book that made you cry. I really haven't read any books that made me cry this year, except Love Her or Lose Her. I did cry during that one, but that's really it. The rest of them, I have not really felt anything super emotional, but I also haven't been reading a whole lot of emotional books. Everything's been contemporary romance or some fantasy or some thrillers, but nothing really heavy and hard-hitting as of yet. Book that made me happy, there's quite a few. One that I just finished is Happy and You Know It. This one was so dark and twisted, and I'm going to talk about it in an upcoming wrap-up. This one was so messed up, but like, it made me happy the way it was written. So I would say Happy and You Know It is probably the one that made me the most happy so far. Prettiest book I've gotten in 2020 is the next question. And I would have to say right now, All the Stars and Teeth. I love this cover. The colors are beautiful, and every time I look at it, I find something else that I love. Like, I was looking at it today, and this crown being held by these hands is so pretty. I love the ship at the bottom, and even the way things are written on the back. Just the color scheme is so pretty, and when you open it up, like, it has these beautiful blue pages, and even when you take the dust jacket off, the spine is just gorgeous. So I would say this is my prettiest book I've gotten this year. Finally, one book that you want to read before the end of 2020, and for me that is Serpent and Dove. I got this book, I don't know, this one's also really pretty, and it's another one that the longer you look at it, the more you notice. But this is a witchy read by all accounts. Some people were really disappointed in it. Other people really, really loved it. I think I'm really gonna love it, and especially with the sequel coming out. I am excited to read this because I really want to get all of them, even if it's just for the covers, because they're so pretty and they look so magical and mystical. I think the next one is Blood and Honey, so maybe you can count that as my most anticipated new release, even though it's been out, or it's like, I haven't read this one yet. But yeah, I really want to read Serpent and Dove by the end of the year. So that is it for the mid-year book freakout tag. I think I'm going to meet all my goals this year, hopefully. Let me know down below how you're doing on your reading goals, as always, and let me know if you've read anything or there's anything coming out that you want me to know about. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one.